There you go. A little tweet of a bird, the sound of a motorbike, and just general bustle. Not really hustle and bustle, it's not a busy area. But let's jump into this particular episode and speak about accommodation in Chiang-mai. My reasons for my learnings and what I've kind of, information I've gathered over time of being in Chiang-mai and a couple of visits to Chiang-mai, especially more recently in the last year and this year. Previous years I've been to Chiang-mai, but I'm more nomadic. How can I explain it? A bit like my company, really, Native Nomad. It's kind of I'm a filmmaker, and that comes into play in my company name, Native Nomad. But what I was going to say was I've learnt a bit, and especially on this particular trip, I secured a 2-month accommodation in the Santitam area of Chiang Mai, and that is coming to an end. And it's good in ways because I'm going to be going to Bangkok for a film festival. The air, as I speak right now, I can probably feel a bit in my throat. I'm not sure if I can too much. It could just be because I'm constantly speaking. I just recorded another episode. The other episode, incidentally, is a tiny update on the Lone Star Mini Mart independent company and Freebird drinking water. I did an episode about that. I've just learnt some more about its Korean connections, not just Thai. Anyway, back on topic. And I had this idea, right? My tenancy is coming to an end at the end of April. At the end of February. We are now a couple of days away from the end of February as I record this. And I could have nicely asked where I am if I could somehow extend for 2 days. The only reason I thought that might be possible is because when I started, when I got tenancy, it was just the end of just the end of December, around just before New Year, and it's kind of a pro rata thing. I said, right, can I move in? And they said, well, yeah, we can do it from the 1st to the end of the month, as is often the case in other countries as well. And then you pay, bear me a second, motorbikes and other traffic maybe. You just pay the pro rata of the day or two extra that you're going to move in, and that time. Anyway, the end of February is approaching, and I was thinking, right, to time this, actually I was going to leave Chiang Mai pretty much on the 29th. A random coincidence happened. I've got many Korean friends, many artist Korean friends, some who reside in the UK, some who reside in other countries, some who live all over the place. And I was at an art exhibition recently in Chiang Mai, and who would come up to me is one of these Korean artist friends of mine, and I only know her from London. And this is maybe the thing about Thailand, Bangkok, Chiang Mai. Probably does happen to a degree in Seoul, but obviously Bangkok is a hub for lots of things, people passing through. And we had a chat, and she mentioned she's got an exhibition on the 3rd of March, and I was like, well, I've got to leave because I've got to. There's a meetup happening in Bangkok relating to a YouTube channel called Retired Working for You. I've got to be there for that. It's a members one, and I want to be there for that. And also my film is in a festival the second weekend of March, and so I thought, right, I'm going to leave on the 29th, and then I bumped into her, and she said that. I thought, well, I can't really attend your event because I've got to go. I've got a visa thing to sort out in Bangkok. But as I thought about it, I thought I only have to be in Bangkok, the first week of March. I don't really have to leave then. So long and short of it is, I've decided to stay to the 4th or 5th of March. So that meant that my tenancy would be up. I wouldn't have any place to stay. Now, of course, it's Thailand and it's Chiang Mai, and there's very cheap accommodation to be had. But I was thinking, I know of places, including this place I'm at, where they can range from, or be as little as, and they can even be lower than this. This is just this area, and the couple that I've recently inquired at, they can be 3,000 baht, 4,000 baht, 6,000 baht. But when you think about it, especially ones at 3,500 baht, that's a little more than what I pay for 4 or 5 nights. And I don't spend much on hotels. I've got a favourite up the road, which is the Dome Residence, but I've stayed there a couple of times. And I thought, if I'm going to spend £60-70 UK money for 5 more nights to stay to the 4th, till this exhibition is finished, or even the 5th, I thought, well, I can't, I just can't justify it. It's silly, really, because, I'm even having second thoughts now of what I have done, which I'll mention to you in a second, but I'm not really. I've already justified it. So I was thinking to myself, right, I know that there's places here. There's loads of accommodation. I've even inquired at ones, and they don't have to have a balcony. They might have a balcony. And also, I'm only going to use it for, let's say, 5 or 6, 5 days of the month. I was actually hoping to move from the 29th of February into somewhere and save on maybe up to 5 nights accommodation, and therefore not losing any money, but getting a whole month's accommodation, a condo. The place I actually checked out, and actually investigated. When I say checked out, obviously I don't mean in that way. I haven't even checked in. They said, well, we've got a room for a month, and it's 3,500. Now, if anybody knows, that's 3,500 baht. That's the price I was talking about. And I thought, okay, that means I've got to have 2 nights somewhere else, and I'm not going to be in Chiang-mai. So is it worth it? I'm going to be paying. I don't know. I was still thinking, I'm going to pay up to 6,000, and I thought, wow, if I can do this, stay there for 3 nights, I'm not going to be saving as much as if I had stayed there for 5 nights, because I've still got to pay out for 2 nights somewhere else. But I've taken it upon myself to think of it like, of course I've taken it upon myself to think, but to have a night or 2 in the old town, which I love anyway. I'm like a mini sort of staycation, vacation away from the area I'm in, which I love anyway, and then jump into that other accommodation for 3 days or so before I get my flight. So that's what I'm doing. And I'm one of these people that thinks about stuff too much and can't make decisions. But today and yesterday, I kind of have come round to the fact that it's the best thing to do. Now, the only thing is, I'm going to Bangkok. It's for a few weeks. I want to get away from this air. I'm not saying Bangkok is the cleanest of air. It's not. But it will be slightly better than this. And I've got loads of people that I want to meet up with there. And I also have to plan my visa situation. I have to plan some other parts of this trip. Maybe I'll pop over to Korea, or maybe I'll make a longer term visa in Thailand. So the long and short of this is, I'm really happy in the fact that I've secured someone for somewhere for little money. And there was another factor. Just let me sip on my coffee 1 second. The other reason is, in this place I've had for 2 months, it was furnished. It had everything I need. In fact, they even gave me bedding. But I was, to certain thoughts or reviews and stuff, I was thinking maybe I should buy my own stuff. I didn't want to lose my deposit, get charged for something I wasn't aware of. You hear these stories where you might have used something and they go, well, that's coming out of your deposit. You've used the bedding. We said you could, but they don't. Maybe it's not clear that actually, they take 1,000 baht off you. But I'm just assuming. But I've read reviews. I've read certain things in this country. I don't. I'm not speaking negatively about this country. I love this country. I'm just saying, I wanted to have my own bedding, so that when I do move on, then, I haven't got to think about their stuff. Give it back to them. And I bought myself a kettle. Some crockery like a mug, some cups, and ant spray, because I had a little issue with ants, probably some sugar or something. I managed to stop that. A towel, all these things, and when you put this stuff together, this money you've spent, it's very, very reasonably priced here. You're not talking much at all. A kettle is probably £3. The amount one I got, you can probably get it for more. But when you add all these little things together, I'm thinking, actually, I spent 25, maybe 25, £30 on little things that it's a shame to get rid of. I was going to donate stuff to charity, but then I thought, but I'm probably coming back to Chiang Mai, So you either think to yourself, you spent £25, okay, let's just round up to 30. You spent £30 or 1,500 baht, let's say, 1,400 baht. You've spent 1,400 baht. Are you going to throw it away? Or, which it's great to pay back, it's great to pay it forward, it's great to give things to people. But what you've then got to think about is, if you come back to Chiang Mai, you've then got to spend out again, because you actually do want all those items. So I thought, well, if I'm going to spend 1,500 a second time, then that's another, let's say, no-brainer, because I'm paying somewhere for a month. It saves me 3 or 4 nights hotel, but it's also a place to store these little bits. And if there's items that I don't want to get I can't pay extra to get on a plane to go to Bangkok, or I don't want to carry a duvet to Bangkok, that's for sure. I've got a yoga mat. I've got lots of little bits that I've bought in the last couple of months. And the good thing is, this place I found, it's in Samtitam. It's next to a lovely cafe, a juice house, I think it's called. It's that little neighbourhood, it's that area. It's maybe slightly noisier than where I am, because it goes straight onto the main Santitam kind of road, or whatever, Santitam road perhaps. I'm in an area now which doesn't. There's still a bit of traffic, as you can hear. But the other things to weigh up with that is that I'm right outside a restaurant that has loud music. And again, it doesn't really interrupt me. It's not every night. It's not that loud sometimes. And obviously you've got windows, you've got double glazing. And yes, that area, same. But also, as I said, I'm not going to be staying there. I am for less than a week, half a week, not even that. I've also got a friend who could stay there. They're quite happy with that. I've spoken to the owner of the condo is quite happy with that. And the other aspect, as I was just about to mention, I drifted off, was the fact that they don't mind if you have 1 month and you make it another month, or if you have 1 month you finish. It's not a contractual deal. The actual accommodation is somewhere that rents out by the day as well. So it just so happened that they had bookings from the 29th to the 2nd, 29th of Feb to the 2nd of March. So unfortunately I couldn't move in and take advantage of 5 straight days, included in a month's accommodation. That'd be brilliant. But as I say, I'm treating myself for a couple of nights away, but not far away in the old town. I could go to Pai, but I'm not going there to Pai for a night or two. I'd rather go there when the air's better. I'd rather go to Chiang Mai. I still haven't been there. All these times I've been coming to Chiang Mai, I still haven't been to Chiang Mai. I've had opportunities, enough opportunities. But that's why when I go to Bangkok, maybe visa depending, and whether I go to Korea. There's also the 10-year anniversary of the Sewol ferry tragedy happening. Well, it's happening, wherever you are in the world. But it's very. If you don't know much about that, the Sewol ferry, Sewol, happened in South Korea, where 250 children and 50 adults all were lost to the sea due to ineptitude by the peoples at power. They could have saved them. It was a disaster. And I've been an activist for that for many years, for 10 years, in the UK, monthly having a memorial. And anyway, what I'm saying is that might be my reason to pop over to Korea for a month, then come back, and then pop back up to Chiang Mai. And whether I've still got that accommodation that I'm paying, let's say 3,500 baht for, or not. The good thing is, anything I'm keeping there, as I say, bedding, kettle and stuff, it's not, if I decide to, let's say I want to give it up, and I just make sure someone puts it all into a bag and say, look, can I just stop paying the rent, but I won't be coming back to Chiang Mai. do you mind just taking that stuff out? If there was stuff like a laptop or more valuable things to me, or important clothes or something, then sure, I might have to think differently. Okay, so I just wanted to record this because it's quite exciting in many ways. I mean, this is the thing about travel. You learn all these things. It doesn't have to be in Asia, you learn stuff that you wouldn't know in your own country. We tend to know, we are learning in our own countries, because when we first get out in the world of renting, when we're teenagers or whatever, and we don't know how the world works really, and we learn about it. But in Asia and anywhere else, it could be a different European country, you just learn, you're learning how things work. Yeah, there's the internet, it tells you everything, but it's great finding out yourself. It's like visas, and it's like ties, how do people, how you can help businesses, or how your daily life can be enhanced by many factors. And I've noticed that already. I'm still trying to be creative, and I am writing my script for my next film, and things are coming together. Hopefully a producer in Bangkok. Anyway, off the topic, accommodation. You've really not really got any worries in Thailand, providing you've got the time. It's taken me many years to do this. I've come like a lot of people, you start off coming to Thailand for a week or two's holiday. Over the years, I've discovered, other countries around, and you just think this is the place I want to be. But it's taken a good decade and a half to reach this point of sussing out how you can do it. So that's it. I'm going to leave it there. I'll leave you with a bit of atmosphere, as I often do, and I hope you're all well, and thanks for listening. See ya.